She was really good about keeping the city in her room, but she got a job this year as a principal in Smith. So I hear nothing. Yeah.
She was started in school after that year.
Well, I don't have her out.
She contacted us from some little.
Yeah. So maybe we'll get somebody to get involved with the city. We like to be involved.
You stand up for your elders.
Didn't know that she was leaving. How, when? Next year? I'm gonna say. I say, what the clock, you must be saying.
Jim's clock.
It's resetting.
Okay, she deals with it, it's fine. We'll call this meeting to order. This is a regular meeting of the City of Callaway Board of Commissioners. It is Tuesday, March 24th, 2026. It's 6 p.m. Y'all will please stand with me. Tonight, Commissioner Pelletier will do the invocation, and Commissioner Ayers, please lead us in the pledge.
Lord, we thank you for allowing us to gather today, and we pray for your guidance in making decisions for our city and our citizens. We thank you for our first responders, and we ask that you bless them and their families. Please keep them safe and let them go home at the end of their shift. We thank you for our citizens and employees that make Callaway a great place to be, and pray you bless them with peace and success. In Jesus' name we pray.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
City Clerk, please do a roll call.
Commissioner Birdsall.
Present.
Commissioner Griggs.
Here.
Commissioner Pelletier.
Here.
Commissioner
Here.
Mayor.
Here. Okay, do we have any additions or deletions to the agenda? Okay, we'll just quickly go through the rules for public participation. You can speak on each agenda item. All you need to do when I ask for public participation, please indicate that you would like to speak. When you're recognized, please come to the podium, state your name and address for the record if you so choose, and then your 3 minutes will begin to comment on that agenda item. At the end of the meeting, if there's something you want to talk about that was not on the agenda, it's the same process. When you recognize, come up, state your name and address if you choose, and then you have 3 minutes to talk about the non-agenda item. So we will go on to approval of the minutes of the March 10th, 2026 regular meeting. Did you have something to say, City Clerk?
Yes, ma'am. Commissioner Ayers, you had requested that I list out the events that you attended, so I did take out where it just said events attended and listed each one that you have mentioned at the last meeting.
Thank you.
Other than that, did anybody have any changes or any comments on the minutes? And if not, we need a motion.
Motion. Second.
Okay, you've got a motion and a second. So all in favor say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay, and the financial statements are there for your review. And at this time, we have an important announcement to make. Deputy Erin Martin, you want to stand up over there in the corner? She is, tomorrow, it's effective. She is our new CPO. She has replaced Kip, and she's going to do a fine job in his place. So I'm seeing her face a lot. She'll be in meetings and different events like High Day coming up.
The 11th.
Florida, consisting of approximately 1.912 more or less acres. Said parcel is located on Whitaker Street, Callaway, Florida, parcel ID 243-93-010010. All is more particularly described in the body of the ordinance. repealing all ordinances or parts of ordinances in conflict herewith, and providing that this ordinance shall take effect immediately upon passage. This is second and final reading.
Hey, City Manager, did you have anything to say on this item?
Mr. Friday, you have anything to add?
No, sir.
There have been no changes since the last reading.
Yes. This is the second reading, so does anybody have any comment? Anybody have any comment? Nobody? Did anybody in the audience have a comment on this rezoning? Not seeing anybody, I would entertain a motion.
Motion to approve ordinance number 1140, rezoning of property located at 5000 block of Whitaker Street, parcel ID number 24393-010-010 final reading.
We have a second.
Second.
Okay, we've got a motion and a second. If there's no discussion, City Clerk?
Commissioner Birdsall,
Yes.
Commissioner Graves,
Yes.
Commissioner Pelletier,
Yes.
Commissioner Ayers,
Yes, ma'am.
Mayor Henderson.
Yes. Okay, we will close the public hearing. We will go on to our regular agenda. Item number 2 is ordinance number 1141, revised city seal.
This is first reading of ordinance number 1141. An ordinance of the City of Callaway, Florida relating to the designation of the municipal seal, repealing all ordinances or parts of ordinances in conflict herewith, providing for severability, scrivener's errors, liberal interpretation, modifications, and providing for an effective date.
City manager. You can have a picture of it too. You have to have it. I just think you should have had a picture on the screen, it would be pretty.
Yeah, it's
Go
nice.
ahead and-
This has been discussed at several meetings in the past where I think the original planes that were on it was F-14. F-14, yes, an F-14. And, you know, we're going through so we need to order some more, we're out. So we basically came back and, what we did find out was that we never had a vector image of this graphic. I'm not gonna get into the details between raster and vectors, but vectors are scalable, rasters are not, so, I actually, in case most of you don't know, I've got about 25 years of graphics experience. So I actually went through and took the old seal, brought it in, and redid the seal so that it's exactly the same as before, to within a couple of pixels anyway, and created a vector image of this that we will be able to keep on file permanently. It means we can actually, you can take this image and blow it up to be the size of this room, and it will still maintain its clarity, basically, a good way to describe it.
So, generation of light. So
Yeah.
that's generation.
Well, you know what, if the next generation comes out, those 3 planes can just be full right out, nothing behind them, put the new plane right in on top of it, okay? That's the beauty of the vector. And so these are, the new F-35s, and we just replaced those in there, and so we need to order new seals for trucks and different things, and so, we're presenting this as a.
By ordinance, it'll give us like basically trademark, statutory for trademark protection. Cities and counties, when they do the seal, do by ordinance. So people can't, like at Walmart, it is.
Anybody have any comment or questions for city manager?
No, this is great.
Pretty self-explanatory. Did anybody in the audience have a comment on the seal? Not seeing anybody? Would anybody like to make a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve ordinance 1149 revision of our city seal.
1041.
1141.
Second.
Okay, you've got a motion and a second. If there's no other discussion, City Clerk?
Commissioner Graves,
Yes.
Commissioner Pelletier,
Yes.
Commissioner Ayers,
Yes, ma'am.
Commissioner Birdsall,
Yes.
Mayor Henderson.
Yes. Okay, we'll go on to item number 3. Variance from the City of Callaway Code of Ordinances to allow vehicle sales in the overlay district. City Manager.
Mr. Fry.
So, Mr. Lovett approached me and asked if he could do car sales in his parking lot at the Grease Pro. They're on Tender Parkway, and I told him, I'm sorry, I can't allow it. And he said, well, how do we do it? So you gotta get a variance. That's why we're here. This is, in the overlay district, and the overlay district, the prohibition for selling vehicles is in the overlay portion of our LDR, and it requires that it goes before the planning board. It did go before the planning board last week. They voted for denial 4-3. Mr. Lovett is here tonight.
It couldn't have been 4-3. Are there 7 members on the planning board?
I believe it was 4-3. There's 7 members.
Okay, I thought there were only 5, I'm sorry.
We added some.
I guess.
There was discussion at the planning board. There was a motion put forward to allow it only with the LLC in place that the Lovetts have, and it was still denied.
Anybody have a comment or question for Mr. Fry?
I have some comments. I did visit his operation up in Lynn Haven. Very, very, very clean. And also, we're talking an overlay that he's maybe half a block from the end of our overlay. When you look at it, it's almost right past the registration. So they're not that far away. And I thought that his operation on Highway 77 is very clean. He didn't have any old Bubba trucks they were all nice and clean. You being obviously used, but it was a very clean operation. I just wanted to add that. I had to go up and look. And obviously, the operation Tender Parkway is very clean also, but obviously it is an overlay that I kind of support it.
Yes, well, we've had come before us in the past, nice clean operations, et cetera, not in the overlay, and we've turned them down. So we turned them down, and now if we approve this, then those can come back in their same properties, because now we're opening up the overlay for something that is not allowed in
The variance is always case by case.
Right.
So I know we had several years ago, it was like a vacant lot, then when it turned into a used car lot.
here.
So I think you have an existing business, and so it's dawned on me, like, if you do approve it, like, as long as it's not the primary business, that would be different than what we had. It was 3 or 4 years ago, we had like a vacant lot in Tyndall that wanted to just do used cars on it. And we turned it down.
So where the Murphy Gold is.
It's a long time ago.
They had
It was
It was just a vacant
it was
lot.
a pawn shop
And
there.
they actually did. They were allowed to do that.
But we've had a few variances for the overlay.
Well, we just had a variance commissioner on animals, that we've never had before.
Well, I was going to say, they are case by case. I wouldn't worry so much about precedence unless,
No.
again, if you had another, oil shop or a car wash and did it, yes, but I think the ones I remembered were vacant lots or something different. So, I wouldn't worry too much about it.
That was vacant lot, was gonna be what is called a lemon lot
Yeah.
as well.
Right, yeah, I think they're totally different.
We did allow Alamo to go across the street with a business that they already had established there. So it wasn't as much of a variance as it was if we just allowed them to move across the street and conduct the same business.
And I look at it almost at the end of our overlay. It's not in the middle of the overlay. It's, maybe, I don't know how many hundreds, maybe 100, 150 feet. It's not that far from the end of it. And I was looking at how clean of an operation he's got. And his Grease Pro is beyond clean, better than clean, maintained in most facilities on that street. You'll agree to that. Because I drove up and down 2 or 3 times, and I personally think that his operation is pristine. So that's why I support it.
Yeah, there was a car repair place that got wiped out by Michael, just down the street from it. and that got cleaned up nicely and everything, so I don't see a problem with it myself. I'd like to know how many cars we're talking about.
He's gonna be limited by space.
Right, that would be the limitation.
Right, there's gonna be a limitation because of the space he's got. And I would imagine he wants it in the front of the property, not in the back.
Is it still gonna be an oil change place though with a bunch of cars there? Or is that gonna limit still being able to be primarily an oil change, quick service?
Yeah, and my understanding, I attended the planning board meeting and he's gonna demolish the car wash, I believe. So there's a car wash there also, which he's
And
gonna.
that's where, according to his information, that's where he's gonna be putting his car lot for sale.
Right.
Doesn't have anything to do with his business. His business is gonna have its normal
Right.
parking.
Right.
He's adding a business to that,
Right.
taking that out.
I was just looking at how clean it was. I had to go look, because you see car sales.
That's the one in Lynn Haven,
And then Haven,
that's no
Kansas City.
guarantee.
And the cars are broken down, flat tires, and that operation on 77 was beyond pristine.
But how do we guarantee that the one in Callaway would look the same? This may be where he puts the cars that aren't as nice.
You have better code enforcement.
So I do have better code enforcement. Not only that, if he wants to sell a vehicle, he's gonna have them as pristine as he did in Lynn Haven. What does he want? Have junkers on, out there to sell? He's not gonna sell.
Anybody else? Would anybody in the audience like to comment?
Thank you for taking this up so I can speak to you. My name is Aaron Lovett. I'm the owner of Greaseboro. Have been since we started in 1985. My son's here with me. I can assure you that the vehicles I would put on that lot would be equivalent to what's on 77 and the lot we've established in Chipley, Florida. We don't sell clunkers. We just don't. And we sell nice trucks and cars is all we're going to sell. Used ones. We don't sell new ones. We sell used ones. But my place is not going to look. I got eight locations. You can go to any of them. What you saw in Lynn Haven and what you see in Callaway is how they all look. You spend a lot of money to make that site right there on Patenda Parkway to look first class, as good as any other lot. That is a good location for us. I mean, this area is growing, it's booming. Kendall Air Force Base, we get a lot of those servicemen coming through there, the contractors trading with us, your residents in these new communities who are trading with us. They're the ones asking us, why don't you have some cars over here for us to look at? So how many cars would I put out there? I could envision 20, maybe 30. I don't know if I can. It's whatever's going to look good, be presentable, and easy because I'm not going to let that interfere with the oil change business. That's doing really good. So we don't want to mess that up. But I want to add, that's a big lot. The lot is big. It's a big piece of property. And I'd like to utilize that other piece, take down that old car wash building, fix that really nice over there where we can display some more cars and trucks. And one of the things that's made us popular is with the trucks. If we buy these trucks, they come in at our 77 location, we take them into the back, and people love to have these little lift kits put on them and the tires and the wheels. So we do all that and put the WeatherTech floor mats inside of them. And so when a parent comes out there with their son or daughter, which they would do here, they see a truck that's already got everything on it. And now they don't have to go buy it and then go somewhere else to get all this stuff done. We do it for them and it's done professionally. And we've got a reputation for doing that. It's working really well, and that's what people want to see over here, is that kind of truck that we would put, as well as the cars we would bring. But I promise you, you've never had a code complaint on us that I know of, except when I thought I could sell cars there, found out I couldn't, so we immediately, when the young man said you can't do it, we started moving them back to 77. We did that. That was an honest mistake. But you're not going to find us in a code violation with the products we use, the way we keep the place clean, how we dispose of our motor oil, how we keep the place, we keep it manicured, keep the lawns clean, keep the buildings painted. That's our reputation. That's what we want, and it's going to stay like that. I own the business. My family works in the business, and this is a good community. You guys are doing it right, and I want to help you. But your people, your citizens want to see some vehicles over there. They're the ones asking us, why can't you put some out here? So we would like to do that. We got the space to do it. And I would ask you to allow us to do that, and you will not be disappointed. You know, you're not going to be disappointed. I promise you. But I'll be glad to answer any other questions. I really would.
Anybody have any questions for Mr. Lovett?
Do you do repair work?
At this site today, we do, the biggest thing we'll get into is rotating balances. We're going to do some brake work, transmission flush and fills, basically oil changes, things like that is what we do at that site. Quick services is what we're doing. Rotating balances are good, brake work, we do a lot of that. But that's what we're doing through there all day long. The bulk of it is oil changes. That's what we're known for, is a quick oil change. And a 5-minute oil change, it takes a little longer than that in this day and time to remove skid plates and everything else to get to the oil filter and drain the oil. But that's what we do there. Yes.
Bill, is repair work allowed in that overlay?
So the use of the property currently is non-conforming, along with all other properties in the overlay district, except for the ones that were developed since it was passed.
So it's non-conforming.
Yes, sir.
So if we issue a variance, we have to issue a variance on that as well.
It's non-conforming.
No, that was already existing. Right.
It's been there, it's grandfathered in, it's always going to be non-conforming.
Unless he shuts it down.
Yeah.
That was pre-overlay.
Right.
For the oil change?
Yeah, it's been there since 07, 08, and the overlay didn't get passed until 2012.
So actually, it's non-conforming. If it goes out of business,
For 6 months.
For
6 months or a year, whatever.
Yeah.
6 months.
I mean, almost every parcel in our overlay, except for the ones that were developed since it was passed, are non-conforming.
Right.
In one way or another.
we did that knowing that because you couldn't run everybody out. You couldn't disqualify everybody, but we still have the overlay and we still have the requirements of the overlay.
Yeah.
And when those businesses leave, then the overlay requirements take over. So when this oil change business leaves, if it leaves, oil change can't come back into that same business
Unless they get a variance.
unless they get a variance. And
It's transfer of ownership. I'm sure whenever they get ready to retire, they're gonna sell it to Steve and Alice and just carry it on.
we give them the variance on the car lot. Actually, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, they may decide no need to change oil because all oil is given to 200,000 miles before you change. You know, that kind of baloney. But that's where we're just adding on to the potentials to them getting away from the overlay. Now, we really want to get away from the overlay. We go in and change the whole requirements of the overlay, which we did back in 2005, in putting in that with the CRA.
Yeah, that's one option, change it, but I think the point I was trying to make, if it's the ancillary service, like if there's an existing good oil change place, the variance would be allowed.
For another oil change.
As long, no, we don't need that because that's grandfathered in. What I was saying, I think we were just talking about, in the future, if they get rid of oil altogether, well then, no, that doesn't apply. As long as it's a sort of side business. That's what I was sort of envisioning. You've got a good established business there. You do it on the side, that's the variance. If you just turn it into a total car lot, that'd be a whole different story, right? Which is what we've denied in the
Variance
past.
would not allow that.
Right, exactly.
Well, yeah, that's
They
what I'm saying.
couldn't just
As long as
shut
it's
down
a sort of
and
ancillary
just-
business, not the primary.
Like I say, we're just stacking these situations.
Well, yeah, I agree. But one is not a variant. One is grandfathered in because they were here
5 or 6 years before, overlay. And the other would be, okay, we can allow this on part of the property, but that can't be, you can't just turn the whole thing into a car lot, because you would not have approved that.
But it sounds like it's gonna be a sizable car lot when you're talking 20 to 30 vehicles. I was thinking something small. I didn't realize it was gonna be quite that large.
He has got the property for it.
I know. But I'm just, we put those parameters on the overlay district for a reason. And it's kind of like you said, we're kind of chipping away. Well, yeah, we'll allow this, but it gets to the point that it's nothing like we envisioned.
Instead of a variance here, it sounds like it makes more sense to go back and ask for a change to the LDR on this. Not that that's a guarantee approval, but that is more the right way that I see this.
Well, if you want to allow car sales in the entire overlay.
Right, exactly.
And each district has their own code. They're not all identical. And this is, I believe it's District 3 that's specific, so. But we have relaxed the overlay in the past. It was, you couldn't build houses like as far as 2 blocks away from the overlay. It's like, why is that? So that was one of the things we relaxed in the past. So, it's a.
I think what I'm saying, you may not be willing to go all the way to the end of the pendulum and say, all right, car lots are allowed. But if there's another existing business, you might allow that as a variance, as long as another business exists. You know what I'm saying? That's the compromise.
We did that with Alamo.
Yeah.
We allowed them to go across the road in the same overlay to continue to conduct the business they were on the other side of the road. And the other car lot, which was gonna be a lemon lot, as it's called, and y'all know what that is. And it's, we turned that down flat. So, and those have been the only 2 that we've deviated as far as not only repair work, but, as far as any, auto sales. And nobody's come before us until this time, since those turn downs. And that's one of the reasons that Bill Properly, did point out that this was part of an overlay, and if he expanded on it, he would have told them that we've turned it down in the past. Now, the attitude may be different now, so it's whatever commission thinks.
Did anybody else in the audience want to comment?
Oh, go ahead.
No, that's okay. You go ahead.
ahead.
I'll get you next, Mr. Bohan.
Longer.
I don't mind waiting until the very end.
Okay.
Can you, start the timer? The first person that came up here and speak didn't have a timer on.
Well, he was kind of he's the applicant, so
Yes.
that really didn't apply to him, so.
Start the timer, please. So what are those, I don't remember the technical term for the flags people put out in front of their business? Like the little ones, the code violation that they had for their flags. So, obviously we have them come up here and say they don't have code violations. They had a code violation that had to get.
I think that was the other oil change place.
Was it?
I think that was.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
Strike that from the record. I don't know what I'm talking about. All right, so what I do know what I'm talking about, variance. When you look up the word variance in the city charter, it says it's typically for a hardship. So obviously, if he is making a lot of money on oil changes, it's, don't let me talk business or tell anybody how to run a business. I'm not a businessman. I'm a retired aircraft mechanic. So if you have a business that's going good, you don't move that business from something to something else. So you're not having a hardship to come to the city and ask for something. Like when I was initially going to file my variance, like 2 years ago, that I was going to file. It was really a hardship. So, that's why I was going to file it. I never filed it. What I wanted got approved by the commission, the Harvey thing. So I think that obviously if we're approving something, if you guys approve something, based on that, if we just go back to what the city charter says, a variance is supposed to be for a hardship. So if they're making a lot of money off of oil changes and stuff, is it really in a hardship where you want to sell cars? Yeah. Thank you. Sorry about naming your flags in the wrong thing. Appreciate it. Somebody should have stopped me.
You can go, Mr. Bohat.
I would have been glad to let you go ahead of me, Ms. Pelletier. Please, ladies first.
So I thought that was a valid question you had about how many cars, but when I went down there, you go into the driveway, the oil change is here, there's not much road front, so I'm not quite sure how many cars would be road front, but I don't really have an opinion on either way, to be honest with you. But I'm just thinking, since you asked that question, there may not be that many road front cars because it's only that side of the parking lot and then it's gonna have to go back, so that might influence your decision, I don't know, but it's just something to think about.
Thank you. Did anybody else want to speak? Ms. Langston, since you wanted to be last, I'll just say it for last. I won't forget you.
Teresa Langston, 6031 Lane Street. I just want to say that it don't matter which end of the overlay it's at, it don't matter where it's at in the overlay, it's in the overlay. I believe that if we do the variance, then it's gonna open doors for others to do off the wall things, and especially when you say, oh, if they attach it to another business, then, you know, we could do this, and we'll stand on our head at 5 o'clock, and yada, yada, yada. You know, I think it just opens the doors for a whole lot of other stuff that we're trying to not have in Callaway. The variance, so if they sell the business with the variance, then it would transfer to the new owners of the property, and then and they would do whatever they wanted to do. Somebody had said, well, if we attach it to the owner, which is an LLC, if they sell the LLC, then all they have to do is sell the LLC, and the variance attaches it to it as well. So I really don't think we should open the door for anything, especially in the overlay. I mean, we try hard to keep out thousands of car washes, you know, and a bunch of other stuff. And if we do this, then who knows what it's going to open the door to.
Thank you. Anybody else? I think you're up, Mr. Bogat.
Thank you. Paul Bogat, 7010 Mike Lane. I'm going to be somewhat repetitive a little bit. Ordinance number 930, adopted in 2013, created the overlay district. Greaseboro is located in Sub-District 3 of the Central Corridor Urban Design Overlay Districts, situated between Cherry Street and Boat Race Road. And you are correct, 3 doors down from Boat Race Road. At the time of Ordinance 930 adoption, Greaseboro was an established business and had been for several years. It was, therefore, grandfathered in as a legal, non-conforming land use. The current request for variance represents a change. In effect, the requested variance will create a site where 2 Ordinance 930 prohibited land uses are commingled. Granting the requested variance, in my opinion, my personal opinion, all but renders the Central Corridor Urban Design Overlay District concept a mere pie-in-the-sky concept, a dream without teeth, if not a thumb in the eye, to the ordinance itself. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Booker. Was there anybody else that wanted to speak on this?
Can I speak one more time to that, or is that not?
I guess since you're the applicant, if you'll be brief, you
I'll be quick.
had something to say.
I would only say that, in business today, it's expensive to operate. I can have a good business, but it's still expensive. Costs are going up, labor's going up, and to have something in addition you can do on your site to help create revenue and create excitement on your site helps a lot. I don't have any business that just sits out there and just does its own thing. It has to be profitable. This one's profitable, but this addition would have it keep costs in line. I don't have to hire a bunch of people if I do this, but I hope to sell a few vehicles, and that helps cover costs. It keeps overhead down, things like that. So it's a benefit to Grease Pro. It's a benefit to the customers coming in, but it helps us control costs. It helps me make some more profit in an area to help with the costs that are skyrocketing today. I mean, they're really, costs are really going up. And I'm telling you, it's every day. Between the insurance and utilities and the taxes, and the labor is high, and the product is high. But I do thank you again for listening to me, giving me the opportunity, and I hope you would grant us the opportunity to have the variance.
Okay. Anybody else? Cannot see anybody?
Mayor?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir.
Don't want to give the impression that Callaway is against car sales, against automotive repair work, anything else. But when this was all thought through, whether it's a good thought now or not, when it was all thought through back starting in 2005, that here again, we do have an area, and very honestly, it's going to be a very productive area because it's about to be 4 lanes very soon. And that's at Highway 22 west side of Temple Parkway. And that is, Bill, if I'm not mistaken, that is the overlay area where we're allowing automotive repair work and car lots and all that. So we were trying to keep all that separated. And like we talked about earlier, when that business was there prior to all this being passed, all this overlay being passed, we didn't tell that business it had to go away. When you bought that business, when you took over that business, it didn't. We're not telling you it had to go away, but understand it's non-conforming, and hopefully when you bought it, that you knew it was non-conforming. As far as the overlay was concerned, you and the realtor.
When I bought it, the overlay district didn't exist. I actually built it from the ground up.
Okay.
There was no overlay to be concerned about that thing, right? That came in after the fact, years later.
And per your application, what you now have is a piece of property where your car wash is, and that area right now that really doesn't have a good function with your current business. So you're looking for something to expand your business, and that's good business thinking. The problem is it just doesn't match what we're designed to do in Callaway, at least at that point. So how it works tonight, let's see.
Anybody have anything else? Or would someone like to make a motion?
Motion to approve variance from the City of Callaway Code of Ordinances to allow vehicle sales in the overlay district.
Second.
Okay, we've got a motion in a second. Is there any other discussion? Okay, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Nay. You may want to do a roll call.
Yeah, you want to do a roll call, go ahead.
Commissioner Pelletier,
Yes.
Commissioner Ayers,
Yes.
Commissioner Birdsell,
No.
Commissioner Griggs,
No.
and Mayor Henderson.
No. moving on to item number 4. Discussion with Commissioner Pelletier, did you want to?
Well, city attorney, obviously found what I was looking for. In the attorney.
Wow. Small town.
But I wanted to talk about, obviously, was that we need to, move on with trying to get our refunds, our money back. But I was a little concerned when I looked at invoices that the city sat on for a whole year. And I don't know how many times I was told by a finance director, kind of counsel, that I don't know how it works. Those invoices should have been put in for a payment. And they weren't. They sat on there for a whole year. So now, obviously, other than we're having to hire an attorney to go back, other than the $40,000 that we, was it $45,000 that they paid already, that they're refusing to pay the rest. If those two invoices have been paid, we'd be again looking at less. And it just irks me that every time I asked a question, I was talked down to, as that I did not know how it worked. And I hope that all the grants that we have now, they'll be not sitting on invoices as we go forward. My concern was that how many hours, city attorney, do you think we're going to get involved in trying to recover this money? You're talking 100 hours, 200 hours, or $350 an hour?
I mean, I couldn't tell you that. I mean, I think, again, in a public meeting, I don't want to get to the merits of the case or whatever, but it is, on its core, it's simple. You're supposed to reimburse us, here's the invoice, reimburse us. So it's really a simple collection. I say simple, but if it goes to litigation, which is that's where that's where we're at.
If we do prevail, do we get attorney's fees?
No, it's not been in the contract.
Yeah, remember this contract was back when everybody was holding hands, singing Kumbaya. It was more of a development agreement, and the city got the grant, and we went to them to get permission to go on their land, and they were going to put up the first whatever million or 1.1 and all that. So it wasn't like your typical contract with a contractor with your attorney's fees. So that, I don't think that was in there at all.
I'm hoping in the future, city attorney, that any contract we have, that we put that in there, just every contract I had on the beach.
Yes, I mean, that typically is.
It's a typical thing in a contract.
Well, agreed, but this wasn't a typical contract. However, for a development agreement because we were looking to them to get permission to go on their property to spend this grant. So it was a little different. I know this pretty good.
It was different, but however, I do remember that at late in this stage that you and city manager drew up a contract. At that point, that should have been in there.
Well, also,
I
remember that the contract that we started with was we were gonna get all that money up front and it was gonna sit in escrow.
Right. Which never happened. Right.
So why do you?
But so really the decision we have to make is that
do you go for, and again, we had a merger with the law firm on December 31st, and so we have a conflict, and so again, I don't want to get into the merits of it, but I guess the decision tonight would be, does this board want to go forward and hire a different law firm, Jeff Carter, he sent the engagement letter, to pursue it or not, and then he can do all the further reports and updates on it. They paid $45,000 so far.
What I was going to ask is, what's the balance sheet?
I had that information.
45.
144,956.
That's still left over.
Well, according to this, we had invoices of 189,956. We got 45,000, so we did 144,956.
There you go.
Right.
So,
145,000.
145,000 is balance due. And the hourly rate is $350 an hour.
So I imagine paralegals would do.
Yeah, it's a collection case.
Yeah, I mean, the attorney himself is probably not going to spend
Right,
the
exactly.
majority of the time, so at least the paralegals are a little less expensive, what about half
They-
price?
They've been invoiced and they're refusing to pay the additional.
Right.
The city sent the invoice, what, July or August, or, yeah, after the grant got canceled. Remember, we canceled the grant, canceled the contract, added up what we had spent, and invoiced it. And that was like July or August, then it kind of went back and forth. They said, well, we'll pay you 45 uncontested, but they're contesting the rest, and so that's where it is.
Well, it was their decision to cancel the grant and move, and the grant was going to be paying for all this.
Well, after they
Right.
reimbursed the first million or so.
Well, it was actually the new owner that canceled the grant. Correct?
They could have, the new owner could have let it be assigned to them, but they went in a different direction and figured out what it
So did they offer to negotiate something?
Well, they paid 45 uncontested and they're disputing the rest.
And they didn't want to discuss the rest?
Well, that's where we're at now, but because of our merger, I can't do it. The people we merged with represented some of those owners. So, and he can't do it either, so there'll be two different law firms handling it.
It would be a little bit better condition if we lose this thing, if we would have done what we're supposed to start off with. It just deters me on and on and on, and then, you know, they have talked down to, so I don't understand how it works. And then the city itself does not do its job. Thank you.
So when the new owners
They have nothing to do with this.
Yeah. they have-
bought this was not included as a cost of,
No, the new owner, well, if the new owners had taken an assignment of that grant deal,
right,
then and wanted, if the new owners had wanted the city to pursue that grant, right, and keep it going, it was already issued, obviously, but to follow through with that grant, then that would have been assigned to them, and they would have stepped into the shoes of the seller,
They didn't.
but they said, we don't want the grant, we're doing our own thing with their own money. They didn't want the state's money.
And they have nothing to do with this.
Right.
So that.
They could have, they didn't want, and that's fine. They had that option. That's why the city canceled the grant and canceled the contract with the general contractor.
So I guess we're lucky it's not a percentage and it's just by hour.
Yeah.
Usually when you sue someone, it's a percentage.
Well, on personal injury stuff, but a contract will just be wherever the number is, 138, 138, that's what we got for.
Does he have an estimate of what this will rise?
Not yet. I talked to him. I said that we're going to discuss it at tonight's meeting, and then once you guys give direction, say, look, let's pursue it. Then I'll send them the entire file, and then
We're not gonna know
Jeff
what the
can
cost
back
is
again.
until he gets into it.
Right.
That's the unfortunate thing about lawsuits. It could drag on to where it goes to court, because they refuse to pay, or refuse to pay. So now, we don't know where we're going with this.
Arbitrated.
Well,
I
arbitration,
think the only, no litigation is good. I mean, I'm an attorney and I get paid by the hour doing that. I still tell all my clients, you don't want to go to litigation. Nobody comes out happy.
right.
The good thing about this one is it's a fixed amount of money. You're just talking about dollars and cents. There's no establishing damages or this and that. It's dollars and cents. So, it's a little bit easier to handle a pursuit.
They're gonna be paying legal fees as well, so they may want to keep their costs down, so that may help that nobody wants to drag it out because of the legal costs.
Right. That's right.
I put this on here because I thought it was dragging on, and on and on.
So I've talked to you about it every week.
I know, city attorney, and I've been
I've
to the point where let's move on with this thing. We're getting into the month of April, we're talking 6 months now. And then when I saw the invoices that really threw me into a flip, I just really flipped on it. It just angered me. And again, staff, we're here, and there's nothing we could do. That's previous accounting, but it's still the city manager's responsibility to make sure this gets done. And here we are again, you know, we're not holding anybody in our city accountable, we, the commission. We just think that, okay, we just go on and.
In this case, the person that should be held accountable is no longer here.
But who's ultimately responsible for it?
Well, it's hard for city manager to look at everything that department heads are doing.
And when it comes to money, Mayor, I look at every damn invoice, or as part of my French, when I was on the bank accounts. Every invoice, when I was on the bank account, I wanted to see them, every one of them, before that check went out.
Before a check went out, yes, but not necessarily with reimbursements. I mean, I know when I was the finance director at the airport, it was my responsibility to make sure that reimbursements were done and things, and the executive director really didn't know every reimbursement that was done. I think we need to move forward and pursue this.
I know it's a discussion thing, but
just-
now that we have the engagement letter, I think the request was, if you want to move forward, and again, I have been working for like 3 or 4 months to try to find a conflict counsel, right? And Jeff Carter's agreed to do it, he sent an engagement letter, so.
And you do know him and you.
Oh, yeah.
He's out for him.
He's a good attorney. Yeah, she stepped in when Haven had a lot of trouble. He was the interim there for several months. He's primarily a litigator. Really just a litigator. He's a good attorney. So if you want to move, I guess 2 things. One, we definitely want to move forward. If we can find somebody else, or you want to move forward and use Jeff Carter, we have an engagement letter.
And those fees are pretty standard.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for litigation.
I don't think we need to go back out on the street to find another.
I'm fine with this attorney, but I'm with you. I think we need to move forward on it. I don't want to just let it go.
No.
I think we need to pursue collecting that money. Anybody else?
No, I agree with that, have no problem with Carter, and also, really, what we're looking at is either, settlement in total or settlement in a settlement.
Right.
But do go ahead and get it cleared up.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Anybody else up here have anything to say before I open it up to anybody in the audience want to comment? Yes, sir.
Mark Bossler, 630 Walsh Road. I'm not going to get something wrong about bikes this time. I'm going to read you something very important. So if you've been paying attention to the news, and I'm going to tie this into this. If you've been paying attention to the news, it says 44 dead dolphins that have been documented in Panama City. So basically, Gulf County and Bay County had an extremely large amount of dead bottlenose dolphins, 44 to be exact. So the way this ties into this is we had somebody come up here that asked for a little bit of money for 20 grand from the estuary committee. So when I look at these numbers that are in this finance documents for all the stuff that has been going to this project, they just got lost. And the commission, obviously voted no on giving them 20 grand. We have how much is the interest rate on all this money that we got tied into this thing? Like how much would the profit? How much of these people this money? Where I don't know where the money goes. I'm not in finances, but where does this money go that they have that we have given them? As a city, maybe there's an interest rate that I know it's not going to equate 20 grand to give to the estuary, but to me it's like we have money that is sitting somewhere that could be used to pay something else, and it didn't happen. So it'd be interesting to see what that overall figure is of the interest rate or any of that stuff. There's probably somebody else that's smarter on this money thing that might be able to tell me how that works. Maybe you have an answer. You're just looking at me kind of
This was, we received, we started the Beacon Plaza, hired a general contractor, got invoiced, had a
the grant manager look at it, CI look, was there CI too, or just the grant manager?
Yeah.
CI grant manager, and we paid invoices. Those invoices should have been reimbursed from that owner, at least for the first $1 million. So those just reimbursed. It wasn't just like money sitting there getting interest. It was, we paid the general contractor and a grant manager, and we should have got reimbursed. We weren't reimbursed fully. So, it wasn't just money sitting there. It's just we paid a bill, and we sent it to somebody else to reimburse us. They didn't reimburse us.
So we don't have any excess funds that are sitting there that we're still waiting to get back?
Well, we don't have any money sitting anywhere. We're
No, I'm saying that they owe from the stuff that didn't get done.
So we paid an invoice, and we're asking for reimbursement.
Yeah.
So there's no money sitting anywhere.
Sure, there's $145,000 that we're looking at to collect.
Get reimbursed.
And for the record, I would have been glad to give the $20,000 to this.
I just wanted to tie that in. I wasn't trying to be too mean to everybody.
No,
Just for the record too, they don't deal with the Gulf, they do the estuaries,
Yeah.
And.
But the water goes everywhere. All that water goes
Right, but
everywhere.
I think the animals died in the Gulf.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, Ms. Pelletier, you want to go ahead and then I'll get Ms. Langston.
Go ahead, go ahead.
You're closer to the microphone, so.
Our city manager makes $250,000 in salary and benefits. With Tico, y'all sat here and said specifically that Tico asked for this money. Our city manager never said they asked for money. Go back and watch those videos. He never said that one time. Y'all believe that, and he let you believe that. Citizens out in this audience believe they were gonna lose their Tico accounts if you didn't pay that, and you know that because you asked if they were okay with not paying it, and they said yes. Lead service line inventory, $65,000. He lied straight to your face. You all, 4 of you have the documentation for that. He says the emails I brought that day, he said he didn't read. That wasn't 2 years of emails. But that was a 2-year time frame that this city had to do that project. Until we ended up having to pay $65,000 to expedite it because it wasn't done under our city manager. Now we have invoices. You are making excuses. Oh, well, he can't read every invoice. Those invoices are a year old. So, he lied about Tico, lied about the lead service line inventory. Now he's not able to read the emails. When is this board gonna hold this man accountable? This man gets paid from our tax dollars. When is something gonna be done about this? This is getting real old, honestly. $250,000 a year in salary and benefits off the taxpayers' backs. And this is what we have to listen to at meetings. This is a shame on this board. Partially not you, because you weren't here for all of that, but the rest of you, you're here. You're here. And this falls on your shoulders and this man's shoulders.
Thank you, Ms. Pelletier. Ms. Langston?
I don't know if I can follow that. Teresa Langston, 6031 Main Street. So my question is why didn't we get the escrow money? We were told when people asked, oh, we're gonna get escrow money, we're gonna get escrow money, we're gonna get so much money. And we never did get any, but I do believe, and I'm gonna go back and listen to the meetings, because that's what I like to do in my spare time, for checking facts. And I do believe at one time I thought we were told that we did have an escrow deposit to cover anything that was going to be paid out to ensure that the city wouldn't have to do this. So why were we told this? Kind of goes along with what she's saying about, discrepancies and misstatements, as, people call it. Well, that's another misstatement, and here we are, we're gonna have to hire an attorney and, pay money to get money that's owed to us. So I guess I'm gonna follow up with hers. I didn't think about that, but when are y'all gonna say something? Everybody just kind of goes, oh, well, not our problem, or, oh, yeah, week after week, after month, after month, after month, and it's still the same shenanigans, you know what I mean? Invoice after invoice for things. It's time to hold somebody accountable, and I think the taxpayers have been asking for the commission to do what we voted them into office to do, is not waste our tax dollars and to hold people accountable.
Thank you, Ms. Lumsden. Anybody else?
City attorney, what happened to that $1 million? We were told many times that $1 million was going to be put in.
That was the original draft, which we escrowed, and then they amended it, and the one they got approved didn't have it escrowed. I mean, we can go back and look at the minutes. I remember that was what we drafted, that's what we wanted, and then I guess they negotiated that away, and we approved the reimbursement method, as opposed to having escrow.
I don't recall that.
I remember that was the original draft, was we wanted that money up front, and then they negotiated and redlined it back and forth, and what got approved was they weren't, they had the insurance proceeds, but they weren't going to escrow it, there was no payments they went.
That number is going to be on them.
Well, yeah, that, exactly.
They're going to pay the first before we get
The first $1 million was going to be on them, and what we wanted was, okay, give us the whole $1 million, and we'll hold it.
Yeah.
And then they negotiated back and forth, and it turned into,
representing the city?
the first $1 million is on us, but they'll hold it and
They don't hold him
reimburse.
accountable either.
And then I guess they didn't get the reimbursement.
Well, again, I don't recall that portion of it. I know we were told by our finance director on and on again.
Yep.
I don't recall us coming back. I guess I have to go back and look at the videos. I don't recall that portion that we were not going to get that $1 million in our escrow account. That we were just going to go ahead and bill. That's something that's
and I remember being kind of last minute, but that's what got approved. But I remember the same way you did. That was definitely
Yes.
what we wanted was put it all up front because they had insurance proceeds, so just put it in escrow, and then at the end we got approved after they negotiated was that they would just pay as you go with invoices that we did pay.
Yeah. Of course, if we would have billed them on time, maybe we got a bit more.
Right.
Yes.
Because the balance of the invoices didn't go out until after they bought out of their contract. So I understand those invoices when they got paid, until later on. Those two that were over a year old was frustrating.
Anybody else want to say anything? Up there, do we need to, I guess we need a motion on this?
If you want to go forward with Carter, do a motion. If you want to keep looking for other attorneys, we'll do that.
A motion to go forward with Mr. Carter as the attorney for season 4.
Second.
Any other discussion? If you want to do a roll call for this one.
Commissioner Pelletier?
Yes.
Commissioner Ayers?
Yes, ma'am.
Commissioner Birdsall?
Yes.
Commissioner Graves?
Yes.
Mayor Henderson?
Yes. I guess you can move on this pretty quickly.
Yeah, so,
That's our last item. Do we have any comments from I guess it's commission comments, so all I want to talk about is we had on Saturday, Leisure Services hosted, I guess they set up and hosted a voter safety day. We now have a life jacket lending station, which was I guess it was provided by
Cito Foundation.
CETO Foundation, and also the Coast Guard Auxiliary was out checking boat, which was over at Moore Park. At the boat docks, they were doing safety checks on the boats. I guess we had a good turnout. Commissioner Griggs and I were over with Tim and Caleb early Friday morning to be on TV to promote this. And then we were almost all of us were ribbon cutting for the life jacket landing station on Saturday morning. So if any of you are voters and you don't have sufficient life jackets, if you're watching your boat over at Moore Park, there are life jackets there that you can borrow, use, and then put back. So, we want to keep all our boaters safe. So please take advantage of it. Then we'll go Commissioner Byrd. Sally, did you have anything?
Not a whole lot right now. One is I'd like to say, we got the boat race first roundabout. It's open. Like I said, it surprised me when I came back from a trip late on Thursday and it was open. So we're well ahead of schedule on that. And so the citizens have been very happy that that's going there.
It looks great. I was amazed at how nice it looks, how big it is.
Other than that, I don't have anything else really.
Commissioner Briggs?
There were three of us on the roundabout, and the three of us knew what to do. It's working at least for those three. Concerning what happened Saturday with the Coast Guard Auxiliary, I've been involved in boating since I was probably 5 or 6 years old. And one of the things that in a boat owner for the last 40 years, I think. But one of the things I learned that was I didn't know about is that I've got flares that are now expired, and I need on my boat. I need to buy new flares because they're expired. Well, the Coast Guard Auxiliary is now telling me that you don't have to have flares. That now there is a strobe light that is approved. So in strobe light, I understand that situation, but along with a flag, you can not use the flares. Now, I still keep flares and I still keep a flare gun and all that kit, which you can still use, is just not approved as far as time is concerned. But that is a real, very honestly, the amount of money that we've spent on flares as a boat owner over the years, if I could just buy batteries for my strobe light with that particular concept, that's saving pennies, which are very valuable now. So it was good to communicate with them. And every boat that I've owned in the last 20, 30 years, I've had the Coast Guard Auxiliary. Of course, another thing, you get insurance benefits with that certification as well. So look at it not only for safety, I haven't needed it for safety, haven't had to light a first flare or fire a first flare gun, but it's like insurance, it's there when you need it. So, and I'll just wait for the updates on the various projects we have on.
Mr. Pelletier?
Just a couple of things, please. City Manager, back in November, I sent you an email on Bridget Street. I've had numerous phone calls and numerous texts since then. We rerouted the traffic on the roundabout because of the comments and complaints we were getting on Bridget. Here we are, 4 or 5 months later, it's still, that particular home is still a dump. You keep on telling me that you're going to go ahead and issue an abeyance, and we haven't done so. When are we going to get that property cleaned up?
This is the gentleman has
He's got a lawn repair business.
he has some additional issues And every time Bonnie goes over there, he just cleans it up immediately. Then about 3 days later, we don't know.
That's
He's
right,
just doing it.
he cleaned it up.
He keeps cleaning it up
And then
it's
messes
almost,
it back up.
he just sprays it, drags it.
I have citizens living there that can continue to call me, and he's whole, and here we come up with excuses. Either we have a code or we don't have a code. You know, some of our citizens are getting NOVs, and they have to clean up. Well, this guy's old and he's not all there, and so on and so forth. That's not an excuse. I mean, we've been running this for 6 months. When do we have to fix it?
Part of the issue runs into, and Joe, you may have to help me out with on this. We issue an NOV and he cleans it up. I mean, can we skip the NOV process and go straight to citation?
Of course we can. City attorney told us. Same violation, same thing.
Well, if it's a multiple,
Yeah.
you have to do that NOV, obviously, but then if it's that multiple violation of the same.
The same thing. We don't have
It's just
to.
more, he drags it back out about a week later or several
Then
days
it's
later.
citation.
And then we go back, we give another NOV, he cleans it up, it gets under compliance. And it just keeps going back over. I mean, we go straight, can we just go straight into
It's
the
the same
citation?
violation.
It's the same violation.
We've discussed the city manager time and time and time and time again. But I've asked the city attorney the same as I did again now, and he's told us time and time again,
It's
it's the same, we don't need an NOV. So I'm asking, when are we gonna clean it up?
I have some takes
It's a
you tomorrow.
repeat violation.
And then, right, 2 houses down from here, you've got a car that's got flat tires. Again, that whole street needs attention, and right around the corner, you've got another car with flat tires that grass is growing through. And these citizens live on that street, and we're not doing anything about it. So can we clean it up, please?
Yes, sir.
I want to go back to the email you sent the rest of the commission on use of our city vehicles by employees. I don't remember when we set the policy that we gave you authority to grant other employees to take their vehicles home. The commission set the policy that the fire chief, assistant fire chief, and the on-call employee, I didn't know that you could grant anybody in our city, an employee, to take their vehicles home. Where did that come from?
I'll have to go back and look that up. I don't know where I'll fit in.
I remember because I'm the one that brought it up. I brought it up. I was against the fire chief bringing the vehicle home. The mayor remembers that way back when. I voted against that. And I've been on this issue. So either we have a policy set by this commission. We, as a commission, did not give you permission to give an employee permission to take a vehicle home. So I'd like to know where you got your permission from.
I'll have to look. So,
Does anybody on this commission disagree with that?
No, we have a policy.
We have a policy.
We established that policy many years ago.
I know.
We did have a director who lived in Chipley.
I know. I remember that.
And she went to Lindhaven, so we got rid of that situation.
But it's the fact that, we set policies on this commission and we're not holding our city manager accountable. You can go back and look at the policy, city manager. I know what the policy is, and I know what was said because I've been in the middle of this employee vehicle issue for 10 years now. So we just need to fix it, period. There should be no allowances granted by anybody other than this commission.
Definitely, that's the policy, we need to.
Exactly, it's our policy, that's our policy, period. I want to say that I did see the new ditch. I don't want to call it lawnmower, whatever it is. It's very, very clean, very, 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 very clean for a vehicle that's cleaning ditches. It's really, really, I saw it today and it's like brand new. So whoever's running it build, it's right in trees and so.
Good.
That's all I have.
Okay, Commissioner Ayers.
Yes, ma'am. I did attend a road safety event where the Coast Guard Auxiliary spoke with them for a little bit. And did the ribbon cutting with them. Been with the city manager a couple times last couple of weeks. Viewed all the different projects and they look like they're doing good. I want to commend the roundabout. It really is nice. And I'm sure all the citizens are happy with that. So, what time is Sky Day, by the way? What time should we?
10 o'clock, 10 to 2.
For Friday, it's 10 to 2. We're gonna be there hopefully. I mean, things are gonna be ready at 10 o'clock for people, so we're gonna be there by 9.
Right here. Okay. That's all I have.
Okay. Clerk, do you have anything for us tonight? No. City attorney. City manager, I wish you're up then.
Still working in the same area on Cherry Street. Hopefully, they're looking to put pavement down in that section within the next 3 weeks. And we will probably be moving some crews down to, start on Star Avenue next. The city has been installing the new water line through there. We've put out for bid, the pipe that we need to go from Star Avenue to Bertha. That comes in next Tuesday, so we'll put that on the next agenda. We will be upgrading all of the sizes of the pipes in the area. I don't know if they've completely established the new, where the new fire hydrants are gonna be going, but we're gonna be increasing the fire protection through that whole entire corridor down Cherry Street. We are doing all the work on the water line that's going in right now. We're staying with them as they complete a section going right behind the later water line. And so we'll continue to do that. And it has not been any issues so far. Our crews are working real good with their crews. We now have a 3-day crews doing it. And so that's working out real well. Lift stations, we're gonna do a soft start tomorrow on 15. They've moved over to the lift station that's there in front of Walmart. They started work on that. That'll be the next one in the queue. The roundabout is done. We are on a punch list right now. We've done some walkthroughs, made some comments, and they'll have a couple of weeks before we'll finalize that and have everything, all the little nitpicking stuff that we have to do. Hugh Thomas North, the paving is done. They're working on the intersection now. Onto 22, if you notice, they are widening that through there. They have to have accel and decel lanes per FDOT specs. West Cherry Street sidewalk, we're probably a couple, 2 or 3 weeks away from that. Most of the concrete's in on that. Still got some minor stuff that needs to be done with that, and then we'll do a walkthrough on it. Going to be a little delay on some railing that has to be in through there, through a section that prevents the pedestrians from being in the street. And so I know that's on order. That will probably be the last thing that gets done.
Sidewalk looks great too, by the way.
Yeah, so
They have not wasted any time. They have been working like crazy on that.
DCL has really done a great job on that. And I think that's all of our current projects. Stormwater steady is going strong. We're still identifying basins and they're doing all the work on that. Bill, did I miss anything?
East Bay's going along.
I was about to say East Bay.
Same Creek, some wastewater environmental.
We did talk to the state last week. The state actually reached out because they have a lot of projects that are being held up by the Corps. And the Corps has offered up that they're going to try to push on these projects. It looks like we're going to get some sort of level 5 exemption or something, since we're actually not going through any wetlands. So we're hoping to hear back on that pretty quick, so we get Sandy Creek out there.
Good.
I just have a couple. City manager, our meter system, how's it going?
It is up. We ran some test signals like a couple of weeks ago. The receiver that's on the tower up here has got to be readjusted. This, of course, is at no cost. This is just part of the thing so that it can hit the rest of the city. And then we're working with Springbrook to make sure that all the data is in the right format that has to be sent to them through that. So we're doing data migration on one side and then still getting the tower adjusted so that it's reading in the right direction.
Well, the reason why I asked is I noticed in collection that we have, again, almost $4,000 people walked away because of leaks. And obviously we're going to have leaks, but I would hope that, our new system will be able to detect that early.
With the new meters, not with the old.
Yeah, I understand.
But the fact that we'll be able to, notice and stuff. We did get in our first shipment of new meters. We got quite a few of them in, Bill.
I don't know if this is 2 months worth, but that's $10,000 worth of collection that we're not going to get. In other words, I don't see a lot of money coming back into that fund, and I know that where we were versus where we're at, utility billings were 10,000 pounds better. But this portion here has always been one that, again, that I kind of look at and when I start seeing a $3,000 bill for.
Some of these have to do a lot too with some of these locations, and that's where we're going to be targeting switching out some meters as we can.
So we must identify like that $23,000 leak at some point. They didn't fix it. And obviously, instead of paying the bill, they moved out. And I've asked you many times, of course, it's a renter.
Is it 23?
Yeah. Last was 28.89.
If it's a renter, you can't.
Yeah, it's a renter, yeah. But it's the owner's responsibility to fix the leak.
Are you looking at last month's?
Yeah.
Well, I've got 2 pages here. I got 3 pages.
Is it at the bottom of one page?
Well, I've got
The very bottom sheet.
here that was with the book. Okay, then I've got this other one that was given to us today.
That was one from last week.
Okay.
That might have been in your box.
Okay.
Your book there.
Yeah.
So,
We're very much aware. Kevin's aware of the account, so.
but my thought, it's like, kind of like the property owner, and, they're all being, those that were claiming homestead now are not. But if it's a property owner that does not fix and they're responsible for the repairs, would they not be responsible for that water?
I think we talked about in the letter that said you're not going to turn on any other accounts.
Correct. We have done that.
So
It's
have we done this?
almost like revoking a CO.
Right.
Like it's not.
That one's good.
I don't know.
But have we done that in that account?
On that account, yes.
So the renter comes up, who's gonna pay for the $2,800?
It just goes to courts and collections.
But I guess my question is that since to the city attorney, I understand it's the person renting it, but the person renting it is not responsible for the repairs. The property owner is.
Well, then.
So why can't we
So
go
if they
ahead
get a
and-
$20,000 bill from the city, then they should sue their landlord. It's a simple thing. And the only way we can jump in there is once that tenant walks away, say, you are not gonna have any, whether it's you or another tenant, open another account until you fix it. It's basically like revoking the CO because there's a leak.
Until they fix it, but we're not getting any money.
Correct. No, we go after the account holder.
Yeah, we're not gonna-
And then they would say, well, hold on a second, my landlord, it was their fault, and then it becomes a civil issue.
And we're not gonna get into your account right here.
And they can never open up another account with the city until it's clear.
I doubt that we've, over this past year, we've even got $100 back. Utility bill, when you use the delinquent accounts.
Well, I know we get the report that shows what's gone to collections.
Right.
And we get something to show
What's coming in.
what's been collected.
Right.
Yeah, Josh. Did you hear that?
I'll see what we can find out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get Emily to get us a list of what we collected.
Just to see if we work.
On the utility accounts.
Yeah,
Out of collections, anything out of collection.
just to see.
I know I sent one or two collections, and I know we collected that $2,000 for everything we had. We wasn't looking for nothing.
Well, that's good, so you can let us know stuff like that, but hey, we did that.
Right. Would be nice, so.
Yeah, we always see the negative part, let's see some positive.
Mhm.
If there's something we're collecting, tell us.
I think, Mayor, this is, I don't think it is negative, I think it is, but where we've been, you know, maybe.
No, it's much better, but I just mean, we see what went to collections, it'd be nice to know if we're
Right,
collecting
yeah,
something.
it would be
It'd
nice to know,
just
right.
to know that,
We got some back,
yes,
you know.
that's all I meant with
Yeah,
negative and positive. If we
I,
get some money back, it'd be good to know,
right.
even if it's $100, it's
Positive
$100.
That's all I,
And it was like where I asked about the sales of things at auction, and you let us know that we made a good profit on that piece of equipment that we sold. Is there anything
no,
else
that was it,
covered?
yeah, no, that was all.
Okay. So, everybody good up here? Did you answer anything anybody wanted to know about?
I'm sorry, I just can't go beyond, I need to go beyond what Commissioner Pelletier brought up, and I brought it up before multiple times. We have no control over the, landlords.
Yeah,
Once they get a certificate of occupancy, if they got a certificate of occupancy 50 years ago, we can't do anything related to that property. The legislature made sure that we can't even go after utilities, even though in this particular case that we're talking about here, they have a leak. They have no financial obligation to fix that leak because they're not responsible for the cost of the water going through there.
yeah, I know, we
And
talked about
it's just, also, if the house has 3 bathrooms or 2 bathrooms and one of them's not working, they have a certificate of occupancy that says that everything is working, and we have no legal right to modify that in any way. Unless,
we can, I don't know if we looked at this before, like the International Property Maintenance Code to adopt it, it's very big brother.
but they have,
You can do something, you can adopt a whole another level of code and go in there and start, you know.
One time
go in there,
we
start
thought-
measuring rooms and looking at all that stuff. It's not popular.
you know, at one time we were looking at possibly doing that
Not the
from the fire department, going in for an inspection related to that. But everything is now is triggered toward the occupant complaining. And they have to complain beyond the
Yeah, they go after their landlord saying, landlord, you breached the lease because you're giving me a place with a $10,000 water bill, you know.
I have hesitation because my wife calls the landlord something that I cannot repeat here.
I know that slang.
You know that slang? Well, consider me almost saying that. But it's, I don't know, we've just not been able to do. I really thought when I went on the commission 8 years ago that we could come up with something. But anything that we come up with, actually the legislature
Keeps us from doing it.
keeps us from doing it. So,
Well, and really, the reality goes back, Commissioner, that we're running 60 days behind in our building. And some of these issues would go away if we can cut back maybe 15 days. I don't know if we're ever going to get there or not, but we're 2 months behind. So,
well, the commission did do something a few years ago, and that's when we increased the deposit.
Right, but the deposit, when you get you know, thousands of dollars worth of leaks, that you can come close to covering it.
Right.
You know, and all of these delinquent accounts, because they're 2 months old, 900, 500, 300, 400, it's because the accounts are 2 months old by the time they leave.
And that's one of the reasons that we've all been pushing, I know personally we have. So, trying to get the time frame cut down. I mean, with my power, after they take a reading on the power, within about 5 days, I get a bill.
Well, and I agree with that. And I think, you know, give the city another 4 or 5 months to settle down, and then we need to have a workshop. And we need to set the parameters for, and give the city manager guidance as to what we want to, and let him tell us why he can't do it.
Well, we need to keep their attorney in those meetings.
No, I'm talking about utility billing, not what.
Oh, utility billing, right.
In other words, we've been talking about this, and we talk. At some point, once this system is running, and they've got it running, then we need to set the perimeters. We, the commission, needs to tell our city manager that we want a billing at, let's say, 30 days, and let him tell us why he can't do it. 30 days is just an example. I'm thinking maybe we're thinking more like 45. You know?
Well, we've had the reasons or excuses that we've had to go out and do rereads and all
Well,
this.
you're still going to have that no matter what.
Right. And I don't accept that as an excuse anymore, or a reason.
No matter what kind of system we have, you're going to have readings. And you're going to have meters that break. You're going to have meters that are tampered with, et cetera, et cetera. But compared to what we were 10 years ago, we're 1,000 times better.
Yeah, we are.
I apologize for my
10
dissertation.
years ago, we had commissioners not paying their bill. We had employees writing utility accounts off.
You got that.
You know, and that's why we call for an audit of that fund. That's pre-city manager.
We are so much better than we used to be. But nothing's perfect, so there's always room for improvement. I did that, and this is a part of things that you may not know. You know, we had the meeting where they're building a hotel in Parkland that's going to be on our water and sewer, whatever.
Sewer, I think.
But do you know, I see that there's construction going up on Timber Parkway. Do you think it looks large? I'm thinking that might be the hotel. Have we heard anything about it? Yeah. So that is the hotel that's going up, and they will be coming on our sewer, whatever.
On our side, it's District 3.
Right there.
Anybody else up here have anything before we open it up for the citizens? Okay? Well, let me read the announcements. That's next April 17th or April 7th. Does it look like there will be a planning board meeting?
Probably not.
Probably not, okay. Unlikely, but stay tuned. And then our next commission meeting is April 14th.
When's Kite Day?
Kite Day is April the 11th, Saturday, April the 11th, from 10 till 2.
It's also the day of the air show down in Hamilton Beach.
Air show runs 2 days.
Correct, just saying there will be room out there.
3, well, Friday's the. It's neat.
Right.
I see. Because that's all. And I'll look at some
You're gonna need our help for the cooking or stuffing,
Oh, please.
whatever.
Yeah.
We'll be there to help.
Yeah.
We'll be there to help. Okay, we will open it up now for public participation. Yes, ma'am.
Fiscal year 2026, February, our city manager made $12,800. Year to date, $73,845. Are you okay? him allowing you to believe that Tico asked for money without even setting that record straight. He offered to cost share that. Are you okay that he lied straight to your faces and said, oh, nobody knew? I got a letter in the mail about this lead service line inventory that now we have to pay $65,000 for to expedite, when he actually got an email. And I produced for y'all several emails that show him, Bill Fry, and Thomas Wilson as recipients to that email concerning lead service line inventory. You okay with that for $73,000? Now here we have invoices that are a year old. We said, oh, our mayor says, oh, he can't read every invoice. He doesn't see those. You okay for $73,000 in 3 months? You just directed our city manager to stop this guy on Pridgeon, his small business, because it's junking up the yard. And rightfully so. I'm not insinuating that. And now this guy's running a business, and you're saying, oh, no, can't do that, because you're messing up the yard. So he's not making $73,000. You're telling him to clean his yard up. He can't make money doing that. You just told Grease Pro, nope, can't sell drugs. You can't make money. Can't make money doing that. $73,000 though. Somebody can look you straight in the face and say, nobody knew. I got an email. I got a letter in the mail. That was actually an email. And 2 years of communication that when I produced the document that said, hey, from DEP, that said, hey, you have 15 days to tell me why you didn't do this in 2 years. Not one of you even asked him, did you respond to that? And if you did, what did it say? Not one of you. $73,000, taxpayer dollars. And this is what we have to listen to at these meetings.
Who else wants to speak? Yes, sir.
Mark Bosler, 6303 Walls Road. 6303 Walls Road. Picture that in your head. I live pretty close to Berkeley. I got property in Vernon. I go to Mariana all the time. I drive down there. Go across the new bridge. Or I drive down there and I avoid the roundabout construction because it's closed. Now I drive down there and I avoid the roundabout because you know what happens when I get to the roundabout? I'm so sorry. I know y'all can't see this, but this was on Facebook for a bunch of people to see. These horrible pictures. I'm sorry if you made this. You did the best you could. Whoever did this, I like it because this is actually what I experience when I go down there. I've experienced people going the wrong way on this thing. I've experienced people driving straight over the thing. You can go and see the tracks where they went over it. I hate roundabouts. We don't use the metric system here. There should be no freaking roundabout here. We got a roundabout on Harrison that has a stop sign. What is wrong with people? And I get it, the diagram is amazing, but next time we build a roundabout in the city and there is a need to educate people on how to use it, there's this nice little logo that you see on a lot of signs. Every single street sign you go to on the back of it says Florida Department of Transportation. They also have a website. They have 10 videos that will show you how to navigate a roundabout. None of them tell you what to do when you're behind somebody that comes up to it and just stops like they're being abducted by an alien. Because that's what I experienced just coming here today. I hate the roundabout. I'm going to have to go look at that mess in the guy's yard because I'm not going down that roundabout anymore. I hate it. I hate it. Please don't put any more roundabouts in here.
Thank you.
Martin, I verified three people that know how to use it. And that's all I'm verifying.
Yes, sir.
Hello again, I'm John Weatherby, 1161 Drive. I came in here the other day about a water issue, and I explained to them I'm going to try to use my 3 minutes wisely this time. I'm still pretty happy, and this might be unpopular right now, but I'm going to say I think the city manager is doing a great job because he's the one that talked me out of being upset about what had happened with my water.
and got me to agree to pay back what I am paying back over the year that we didn't receive any bills. But I still don't have what, Ashley had promised me, which was the monthly use, and I'll tell you why I've asked for that. That's because I'm one of these guys that came down here retired from Bowling Green, and there's about 2 months that I wasn't down here because of family stuff, and I'd like to see if the monthly bills can show that, or if it's just being created and averaged out, because I don't have, anything that shows that. And that's what I'd really like to get. I know I gave you my email.
You didn't get the account history?
I have
The
not
account
gotten
history
anything except a bill that shows September 41,000 gallons used, and then that disappeared, and it moved to December 41,000 gallons used, but nothing showing what was used over the past months. I still don't have it.
Okay, I'll
So-
see why that.
You know that sheet that they gave you?
Well, before I run out of time, let me say this too, because this has nothing to do with me. This has to do with the variance and the overlay district, which, just a total side note, I do think your city manager is really sharp on the impact fee stuff, and you got a good attorney. I came from a place before that used increased impact fees for variances in what they called I can't remember the name of the district, but it's basically what y'all are calling an overlay district. And it was a way for, if a company's coming in, they're making good money and they want to improve on what they're doing, it was a way for the city to get some compensation to enlarge their overlay district by the amount that they were losing by granting the variance, if that makes any sense. That's it. Thanks.
Thank you. Anybody else want to speak? Yes, ma'am.
Sixty 31 Main Street, or Teresa Lacy. So the only thing that I want to say is, it's kind of funny that he was talking about the city attorney and the city manager and stuff. I just want to make a point. Pretty much the object of the city attorney is to protect the city's interests. And he stated in the contract, the request for the escrow somehow just, he's not sure how, why, what, where, when, it was gonna get removed. I think the city attorney needs to do a better job at protecting the interests of the city. Again, we wouldn't be going through this had it been in the contract, had it, we followed through what we were told that was happening. I know there's been several instances with contracts, being confusing, about bidding and stuff. And, one time we had to totally rebid a job, on there. So I think the review of the contracts, needs to be reviewed a little better. And even with the, as far as like protecting the city's interests, because if we're not protected, then we're going to experience financial losses, which is passed on to the taxpayers, which is, devastating to the city as well, with the projects that we want to do. I'm not saying that you're doing a crappy job. I think you do a good job, with explaining things and stuff. So, but I think that when it comes to contracts, that we need to do a little bit better job with protecting the city's interest.
Thank you, Ms. Langston. Yes, sir.
Don Hennings, 431 Haddon Pass. 1, 2, 3, 4 commissioners and the mayor. Responsibility, change things in Callaway. And I think that you're talking about cleaning things up. This yard waste we have, then you get another contractor, because it's terrible. You see, Mr. Shaner here asked about a commode a long time ago. It takes 3 or 4 months to get a commode picked up. I know it's, right now, you can't do it because the contractor picks all the other stuff up, don't want to pick up lumber and everything else up. But if you go down the streets, it's just terrible. See stuff laying around that's been sitting there for 2 or 3 weeks. It's lumber or something else, or carpet, I thought the guy's supposed to come by and tag people's houses, tell them they need to get rid of it, But you can't tell who lives here, whose it is, So it's hard to do that. And just, y'all need to change things, gonna change it. But it's up to y'all. You want the city to look nice, or stuff on the side of the road, just lay there for a month. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else?
I'd like to speak to that a little bit before you get started.
Okay. Go ahead, Commissioner.
Sir, I think, I know, I was a proponent to contract out solid waste.
Yeah.
But I know code enforcement is trying to figure out who dumped it, who didn't dump it. But I agree, I think at some point, we up here need to set a perimeter. After we can't find who it is, we need to pick it up. Because it shouldn't be months. There's a pile that I identified today, fencing materials, that I know we're not gonna pick it up. I know it belongs to the owner. And at some point, again, NOV is gonna be issued in a citation, and we're either gonna abate it and pick it up off the bill of the owner. But at some point, if we can't, we up here probably need to have additional discussion as to how long, when there's a pile dumped somewhere with no home. And there's a lot of that going on in our city, all over our city, that I couldn't tell who it belongs to. So I think that probably we need to give our city manager some additional guidance that after a week, we just need to pick it up and be done. Sorry, I'm done.
Come on, Commissioner, sorry, Mr. Carnahan.
Jeff Carnahan, 775 Sharp Lake. I wasn't going to say anything negative about it. The quad truck pickup stuff or whatever. When you make a right-hand turn going down Shower Bay off, the guy put a pallet out there. The truck came by and picked up the pallet. The guy on the corner had a toilet, and I forget what else there. He picked it up. I've had a shallow water pump sitting out next to my mailbox for 2 weeks now. He pulled up, looked at it, got on his phone for 5 minutes, looked at it again, and drove away. And it's still sitting there. Now, I don't know what he does pick up, doesn't pick up, can pick up, can pick up. I was told he couldn't pick up pallets. I was told he couldn't pick up construction stuff. And then he had to call somebody to see if he could pick up my shallow water pump, and he never said nothing to me or anything. He just left it there and drove off again. It's a chess game of when you go take it home, take every week.
I agree with that, especially pallets.
Thank you, Mr. Carnahan. Anybody else? Missing anybody? Did you want to say something?
Yes, concerning utility accounts, and we brought this up several years ago, but as a account holder, you have access to your complete account data and activity on your account. Now, it's automatic if you go in and sign up to make sure that you have access to your account and I don't have access to your account. But every citizen that wants that information can sign up to where they can pull up their account records at any time. That's one of the things about Springbrook that is very good. Now we've had Lisa actually came in one meeting and was advising everybody at that time. Now, I don't recall who everybody in here now was there, but that is available to do that. So each account holder, if you're looking for the record, very honestly, if you're looking for the record of your account, you can actually go in and sign up, and everything related to that account is available to you to pull up with your computer. I recommend doing it with a computer. I can't see my iPhone. I can't see the small letters and everything. And so I bring up everything on a computer so I can hit that plus button and bring it up where I can see it. But just want to point out that is available to every account holder. Not every citizen, but every account holder.
Anybody else have anything? If we're done, I would entertain a motion to adjourn. Okay, we'll adjourn. Everybody have a good